Steve Morgan here, Australian Bass Tournaments. Not often we have an Angler of the Year back up and win the grand final, but in the non-boater division, 2023, Taka Kawasaki from Daiwa has done just that. You won the grand final, mate. It has been a cracking year for you.
Definitely has been, yeah. I was, I honestly came here thinking I'm going to just have fun. If I can win, that'll be great. I've already won AOY this year, and I was so stoked with it. Didn't expect to win the grand final, but somehow he made it happen, so I'm very, very happy, yeah.
Let's talk about the process of how it all happened. Your three non-boaters for the 3 days, who were they?
So day one, I had Al Murray. We fished the edges around here, so all the islands. Shallow rolling crank, that definitely got me the fish.
What colour?
It was weedy sushi and also sunny gill.
Yep. So that was day one. What sort of outfit were you throwing on? Braid and leader or straight through? What were you throwing the rolling crank on?
Day one I used straight through, 4 pounds straight through. I thought it might be undergun, but I thought at the same time, I've done it before in Hawkesbury and it works, so I thought I'll give it a try and do the same thing. Definitely worked. Rod I used was the Infeed Z, 702 I think, LRS, so it's a regular taper, perfect for treble baits. And straight through is Infeed X 2500, so definitely worked.
Where were you sitting after day one?
I think I was sitting around 7th, I believe, yeah.
Day two's boater, who was it?
I had a Mario.
Oh, Mario from Victoria. Absolute gentleman, isn't he?
Definitely is, and I really got to thank him for that. Without fishing with him on day two, and without catching that donkey with Mario, I wouldn't have been up to the second place on day two, so I really got to thank Mario for that.
So you got up to second place. Tell us about the donkey. What was the situation and what did you catch it on?
It was a bit out of my comfort zone because I'm so used to fishing edges and shallow water, but Mario took me to fish the deeper water, and I threw bait junkie grub in 2.5 in model colour. I used 1/12, I think, the heavier jig head, and just let it sit there, hop a couple of times, let it sit there, and just feel the bite and set into it.
What was the rod and reel for that one?
Infeed Z712, so one of the most popular rod from the Infeed range. I guess light and fast, so like nice and perfect for the plastic fishing.
Yep.
Using the J-Braid Expedition, 0.8, so it's about a 6 pound, I'll say. Yeah, and that outfit was just perfect.
Tell us about your last minute fish with Mario.
So I had 2 fish until probably I'll say 2:20. We came back in and Mario said there's another set of racks over there. We can go fish there. If you get your last fish, you're lucky. If you don't, so be it. So we went up there and he didn't even, I think he had a couple of casts, but he mainly just came back here purely to get me the last fish. He goes, you got to catch it, you got to catch it. So I was casting a rolling crank, same thing, MR, like a shallow runner, slowly hovering over the racks and the baskets. And I think that rolling crank actually went right over the basket, so it didn't get snagged up or hitting anything, just enough to say the bream can see it, whatever was sitting on top of the rack. Got a hit, didn't hook up first time, cast again and hooked up straight away and just haul him in because I don't want to get dusted, so haul him in, got it in. It was cheering all over the place.
So on the way it works on day 3 of the Bream Grand Final is you were in second place. So you went out with the second place boater who was Scotty Wilson today. Tell us about your day. You were doing something totally different again.
Yeah, so this is another, I guess, again, I've never really fished a flick bait. But Scotty said to me, flick bait's been working and everyone else has been catching him on flick bait. So Ryan, the guy that was sitting in the first place in day 2, he caught them on a flick bait. So he gave me the hint and said the flick bait really works. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. And went up there, I put on the 130S, one of the lightest jig heads we can get. Put a flick bait on there, punch a cast out to the flats, let it sit there, hop a couple of times, just clunk. Yeah.
And you had one real nice fish in your bag today. It ate that flick bait. Did you know it was a good one when you hooked it?
No, so funny enough, I had 2 fish until probably 11:50 or so. And then Scotty said to me, it's going to be a fair way to come back here. So we're going to leave around midday. So I said, okay. Oh, and he had a 4 fish, I had a 2 fish. So we needed 1 each.
Yep.
We sort of figured out that they were sitting right up in shallow water. So Scotty just drifted in. I cast a rolling crank in brown sushi, slow roll. He was casting crankbait. He hooked up and I hooked up at the same time. And we got the bag straight away.
Wow, and you had to leave straight away after that?
Pretty much, yeah.
It's an amazing system, isn't it? Like Port Stephens itself is a very complex waterway, but then you go all the way up the river to those lakes and you could put 200 boats on this arena, couldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. I've never fished out of here before, and to be honest, I looked at a map and thinking, oh, maybe it's not that much of a big waterway. once you get on the water and start to go up to the river and the lakes and everything, it's a totally different thing. It's a massive place. You can fish all types of things. You can do top water, crankbait, plastics. It's just very versatile. I really enjoyed this arena here.
And Daiwa just happened to make all of those baits.
That's it.
Anyone you want to thank? It's been a great year, mate. AOY grand final win. Got about $4,000 worth of tackle. Like you need more tackle, but you got it.
First of all, my family. They came up here with me this time, and they've been very supportive. Without them, I guess, allowing me to go and fish all these tournaments throughout this season, I wouldn't have had a couple of wins or AOYs or grand finals. So I really got to thank them. And also my work, Daiwa, and my manager, Tom Slater. He's been a great support for me. And obviously you and Nicole, running all this tournament the whole entire season. I really got to thank you guys for that. And lastly, all the boaters I had throughout the year. So I really got to thank everyone.
Very comprehensive, mate. And one thing I want you to put on record again for the video, down the barrel there, who's the best bream fisherman at Daiwa?
I am.
Pow. Grand final winner, Taka Kawasaki.